All right, so Taj, a big upset this week in NFL football. The Eagles beat the New Orleans Saints. The Saints, I think they won a trade coming into this game, and Philly, they started Jalen Hurts, and there's been a lot of noise, about who they should start. Should it be Carson Wentz? Should it be Hurts? A lot of people thought this was the wrong move, especially against the Saints coming in with that number one defense. But they basically tore him up this game. Jalen Hurts threw for, I think he threw for 167 yards, and he ran for 106 yards as well. So what do you make of this game by Jalen Hurts and the Eagles?
That's exactly what the Eagles needed. That we said they needed a spark, and Jalen Hurts provided just that. He provided a spark for this team. The reality of the situation is the Eagles have a lot of injuries, and specifically the offensive line. I mean, you got guys. Lane Johnson is out. You got most of the offensive line has been depleted, and the point of that is Carson Wentz. He hasn't been getting rid of the ball. You can't have a terrible offensive line, and then you can't have a guy that's too long for the ball way too long, and he's taking timely like terrible sacks, throwing bad interceptions, just trying to make up scripted plays when the plays in there. And then you got a guy like Jalen Hurts that can run around, that can prolong the play, that can make off scripted plays. That this is what he's been doing his entire career. Carson Wentz is a guy, yes, he can run, but his talent is in his arm. Jalen Hurts, he can move out the park. His talent really is in his running ability, but he can also make the throws as well. He made the throws today. I mean, like that first half, he was on point. Like that first half, the guy was on point. The guy was just hitting every target. You got to give credit to the Eagles. They didn't put him in any tough situation. They didn't make him make any tough throws. They made the game easy for him, and he made the game easy for them as well. I mean, the guy rushed for 103 yards. Your quarterback is going to rush 103 yards. More than likely, you're going to win that game. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reality of the situation. I feel like this entire Eagles team played great. The fact that Jalen Hurts was in this game, the defense came out and they showed up. Taysom Hill looked terrible in the first half. I mean, the guy looked terrible. The guy was missing like every throw. Every throw was like Emmanuel Sanders' foot. Alvin Kamara. He had to do a lot of work because Taysom Hill, he looked terrible. And the reality the situation is the Eagles defense. They got that boost from Jalen Hurts. They're finally saying, all right, you finally got some points. It was like 17-0 like at halftime. If I'm a defense and I realize a team my team gave me 17 points. Like I'm gonna feel good. The Eagles the past few weeks they've been playing from behind, especially the defense. They gave up one touchdown and Carson Wentz he can't score until the fourth quarter. They're going into the fourth quarter with 3 and 7 points. The Eagles, I mean the defense is they're gonna have some problems. They're gonna struggle if the offense can't put up any points. And the fact that this offense put up points early, I feel like that allowed the defense to come out and they played well. But the Eagles had a lot of injuries, I know, and they still came out to show guys came off the bench and they showed up. They had like 6 injuries on the defensive side alone just in this one game, and that's a lot. But everyone played great. This team looked energized, and moving forward, the Eagles they have a tough situation right now because Jalen Hurts, the way he is playing, they got to make a decision.
Yeah, and I think after this big win, like this is arguably the biggest upset of the year. I mean, if you want to argue Washington, Pittsburgh, but I think
No, I think it's Giants Seahawks. I think it's Giants Seahawks.
yeah, I don't know. I think
Because the
I'd
fact that Drew
go with
Brees,
this
Drew
one.
Brees isn't in this game. It's Taysom Hill.
Yeah, but I mean, the Saints still were playing at an elite level without Drew Brees. But and then the Eagles, like everyone is missing on the team, like they just completely decimated, and they started. This is Jalen Hurts' first start, so you're taking all that into consideration. I think is arguably up there, right? You could agree on that, and this I don't think you could go back to Carson Wentz after this. Like we saw it. Like this team, they needed this spark, and the defense, like you can't like with Carson Wentz, you can't just keep getting three and outs, and then the team just walking and then expect your defense to stop the team every time. That's not realistic. The guys you got to give the guys a break. You got to get the guys the chance to like sit down and catch their breath before they come back on the field. And that's what Jalen Hurts he did, and he gave them a good cushion too. They went up 17-0. So now, the defense, they have a little cushion. And the Saints, obviously the Saints, they're not gonna shut out the Saints. So the Saints are gonna get back into it. And they did. They made it in just in late. But the Eagles, they held on to this one. And Jalen Hurts, I mean, he was in like the way they played, like the way they set up the offense, fam, like it was good because like now you have a guy who could move, could escape the pocket and run a little bit. And he showed that tonight, 106 yards, and they Miles Sanders ran the ball good too, 115 yards from him, 8.2 yards per carry. But just this was huge, and I don't think nobody picked the Eagles to win this game, probably other than Eagles fans, but nobody thought Jalen Hurts was going to come into this game in his first start against the number one defense in the league. And everyone thought, everyone thought it was going to be ugly. I thought it was going to be ugly, but this is just a shocker to me. And I don't think they could go back to Carson Wentz after this. I don't know. Like, I, I don't know, man. Like this is just a tough situation they put themselves in. And even if like if you're looking at the rest of the games, you got the Cardinals, the Cowboys, and Washington. They're probably gonna win two out of those last three games. If they play like how they played today, or they could arguably win all three. So I I don't like this. This is just a really big upset, and I think this is the biggest upset for the season.